and some of it, and like even my friends would be like, "Oh, you got a crazy dog," just like you, that kind of stuff. And because she's hyper, and like they say, dogs take after their owner.
But she's very kind.
And she's very kind.
And she's very smart.
And empathetic. And,
there you go.
And she even lets the cat eat out of her bowl and stuff like that. However, just over friendly, but she just didn't know how to show what she wanted to show in a way that everyone could be okay with. That,
right.
So I don't know, but the psychology is just the tools that right. you've taught us so far, and it's only been a couple sessions.
Yeah, been about 2 hours probably.
And it's, already immediately, and I'm not fabricating the truth here. And we'll prove, I'm going to start bringing Abby in as long as we're allowed to, right, Ed? Am I allowed to bring Abby into the studio?
Cool.
Yeah. But back in the day, he's like, no, because she was like not potty trained. She poo in the corner. So clean up your dog's crap. But she was a puppy. This was 5 years ago. And so, the dog I envisioned being a therapy dog and all of that I was so looking forward to. She's potty trained now. Don't get me wrong. I at least took care of that. But at the same time, I couldn't get her here, even in the car. That's right. Another thing.
Well, we're off to a start because we got her in the car now. And so you talked about controlled environments as it relates to people. Mm-hmm. Well, the same holds true with what we did when we were working on in the car. Mm-hmm. And so for me as a dog trainer, controlled environment means that there's no distractions going around and I'm controlling the situation. And so the way that we teach new behavior, it's really quite easy. It's a simple to complex approach. You see.
Hold on 1 second. It's time for a second break. I want you to give the listeners tools, some nuggets of information that you taught me, and whatever you're willing to give away. Because, sure. These are things that people can start using immediately at home. But it's time for a second break before you get into that. And I still want to welcome callers to call in 866-826-1340 or leave comments on Facebook Live. And 866-826-1340. And when we return, we're going to get some free nuggets of information from a specialist, the canine mentalist, and stuff that you can even start working on with your pet at home. And looking forward to that. And I know everyone's probably doing that too. So stay tuned. We'll be back with Moments of Clarity after this.
We will return to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Financial independence is not a dream. It is a decision. Overcoming your financial challenges is like building a house. You must build from the ground up. You must learn how to make more money, save more money, grow your money, and protect your money. Forever Forward Financial specializes in teaching you these 4 basic money skills. Call us today at 727-422-7761 to schedule your complimentary, no-obligation meeting to discuss your needs and concerns.
Are you looking for a great book? If you like to root for the underdog, Joe Potosi's book is a book for you. A real American Odyssey that will grab your attention with its fast-moving narrative. You won't be able to put this masterpiece down. When the Dust Settled by Joe Potosi. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Zulin Press.
Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Warner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
Are you or your loved one suffering from addiction to drugs or alcohol? My name is Steven Sundquist, and I am a recovered addict. You are not alone. My team of dedicated professionals at All In Solutions Counseling Center is waiting to help you. With our evidence-based services, you can rely on us to help get your life back. We accept most major insurances and offer a variety of treatment options. Call now, 561-289-0779. Again, that number is 561-289-0779. 3 years ago, I made the call. Will you?
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner, licensed mental health counselor. To engage in the conversation, call 866-826-1340. Here's Tiffany.
Hi, and welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity. My name's Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today, my guest is a former Army canine handler, a celebrity dog trainer, and he's known as the Canine Mentalist. And he is here to talk about, tips on where we left off before. And by the way, welcome back, Ryan Matthews.
Thank you.
And where we left off was he's going to give us some tips and nuggets of nuggets of information of how we can help our animals just from home, just from now.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of this stuff is quite simple, and it is beneficial to have someone that can watch you and tell you what you could improve upon. But really, let's just take the example of jumping up. And so a lot of us experience a dog that's really anxious and scratching people when they come to the house.
Or just excited to see someone, so they jump on them to say hi.
Right.
I know, but not everyone likes that.
That's right. And so if we just look at communication and what you and I are doing right now, I'm looking at you and you are looking at me. That's because we're talking. Mm-hmm. Now, if we think of that, and then if we think about what we do when we or guests walk into the house, we look down at the dog. Mm-hmm. Meaning eye contact, meaning what? We want to communicate. Mm-hmm. Now, I know it's fun when the dog's all happy and hyper and enthusiastic to see us. It's fun.
Maybe
and it's
if
validating.
It's us, but not if it's someone else's dog when you go visit a house.
Right.
In fact, I find that annoying.
Exactly. Now, for those of us that are like, oh, it's so good to see you, we're actually conditioning for the dog to do that, whether it's us or with a guest.
Giving them permission, when really we're just trying to be kind because we like the dog, but we don't want them jumping all over and scratching us or ripping our pantyhose when females or whatever.
That's right.
One broke my pearl necklace. That was my mom's, just accidentally with the paw. It happens. Stuff happens, and it doesn't need to.
Or like an elderly person, a person getting knocked down. Right. Mm-hmm. And so as it relates to people experiencing a dog jumping up, what we want to do is not look down at the dog, because looking down is eye contact, which is what? Communication. We don't want to communicate. Okay?
So walk in and kind of ignore the dog at first.
There you go. Now, I'm not saying turn the back. That's different.
No, but just don't make eye contact.
That's right.
Right away.
That's right. That's right. And that was a really good point, right away. And so what we had discussed for Abby was, I'm not saying don't love on the dog and play and roll on the ground and kiss and hug, whatever you want to do. What I am saying is we delay it. That's all. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing. When it comes to rewarding and when it comes to imprinting behavior, if we are promoting something, it's by way of praise. So whether we're petting the dog or giving them treats or whatever that looks like, then we're reinforcing the behavior. So when your dog is jumping up and hyper and you're petting them and loving on them, then you are encouraging that type of behavior. So what we want to do, and I know it's not all that fun, is we're going to actually ignore the dog when we come home and when we leave. That's going to help with separation anxiety. All right?
Oh, wow. That's another thing. So my dog, Abigail, that we were speaking of, had certain things that were just kind of simplistic. There's some where their animals are anxious, howl all day, or chew the carpet, or chew the blinds, or, there's all sorts of behaviors that can really impact not only your furniture, your house, your home. If you rent an apartment, you get charged big fees for that too. And so, that's even bigger than not being able to walk or get out in the car too. And nobody wants to give up their puppy or their dog, but nobody wants to live like that either. So.
Right. And so as it relates to when people come over, again, we want to ignore, to promote the dog not to jump up. And let's talk about, separation anxiety. Now, a lot of us are super hyper when we see the dog and then also saying goodbye. Now, I'm not saying don't acknowledge your dog when you come home, but you just wait until the dog is calm. Preferably, once the dog lays down on their own, that's when you're going to want to acknowledge the dog, love on them, let them know you miss them. So I'm not saying don't still do that. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying let's compromise and let's just delay it until the dog is calm. That's what you want to do.
And a lot of visitors, they can't help but look down at the dog because the dog's all of whatever, and you're waiting for it to jump up. So it's hard to not look at it because you're trying to brace yourself. but as dog owners, if we have them trained, then people, even pizza people, you order pizza, my dog would run right out and greet them, and they're trying to juggle their stuff in their hand and have me sign the credit. And there's Abby, like thank you, it's, no matter how much I asked her to stay, I, tried to hold her back. It was just, and who wants to seclude their animal all the time in another room because they can't control it? That's
just a Band-Aid, so it doesn't fix it. Now, the reason why the animal is doing all of that stuff is because they're viewing themselves as needing to take charge, which means what? Maybe the dog thinks they're the one that runs the show. And
I'm thinking Abby thinks she's supposed to say hi to everyone. Everyone's here for me.
Yeah, she is. She is a lover that way. And what we want to do is let the animals know that they look to us for the guidance, and we have control of everything, because that's what dogs want. Dogs are born to follow, right? And so when the animal, and this works in your workplace or like in the military, whatever, okay, is they look for guidance from a leader that is consistent, that is fair, right? And so it's important.
Because they're pack animals.
That's right.
They want an alpha. And, if we're the owner, they're looking at us like, well, if you're just letting me do whatever, then that's what you want from me.
And that whole alpha thing, that doesn't mean that we're being mean. It just means that we follow through, we're consistent, we're very fair, and we take charge, and we're stepping into our power, such as, hey, don't worry about it, I got it, and you address the door or these types of things. And then the animal doesn't try as much, because guess what? They're more relaxed because they know that you have control.
Sometimes we're more lackadaisical with our animals than we are with our children. So a child's getting poor grades in school. It's like, do your homework, you're grounded. We have structure, right? And I mean, at least for me, I'll put myself out there. Like, I didn't do the same for my dog, where she needed to learn certain things in order to have manners, so to speak. And frankly, I just didn't know how. And she's my baby. So what I knew, and people were like, get a choke collar and yank it and all this stuff. And I didn't want to do that, to be honest. I didn't want to and anything where I felt in my head, even though a lot of people believe in it and whatever, to each their own, but in my head, it felt like I was going to hurt her, and I cared too much. So I didn't like that. She's potty trained because I didn't mind putting her in a crate when I was gone, but that's where if you have a dog that you're crate training, you could leave the door open. They go in there anyway because that's their safe zone. They feel safe, and they start to. So I didn't care about that, but other stuff that I'm probably supposed to do. I mean, she sleeps on the foot of my bed every night, and we went through that, and I guess it's okay on a limit, except for now, since she's so big, I find myself sitting Indian style, laying down, or my feet off the bed because she's taking up all the foot room, and no one should have to sleep like that. Hey, Ed, did you have a comment?
Yeah, a couple. First question is, why do some dogs actually see TV and the other ones don't?
It's often it's not necessarily, yes, technically they're seeing the TV, but you'll find a dog that has prey drive, such as a German Shepherd or a herding breed. They're wanting to watch the TV because those images are moving really quickly. And so prey is essentially a rabbit. It's just something that's moving very fast. And so that's what's kind of getting that dog juiced up or excited, and they're wanting to chase it. And that's often what's happening when the dog's watching TV.
I've got two Cocker Spaniels. One's American. Brooks, especially like we're watching live PD and the canine comes out, he sees the dog, he stands up, and you just watch him going back and forth, and then he starts barking at the TV and gets him all fired up. But he watches everything in that TV.
When I watch dog shows, Abby does the same thing.
Especially
it's like, barking.
If I put dog videos on, he's good for hours. He'll sit and watch it.
And is he acting the same way with the dog shows as that PD show, or is it different? Same, right?
Same.
Now, let me ask you.
No, he's content just to sit there. But when he sees the dog, like the canine is aggressive, he becomes aggressive and he starts, rah, 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 rah. But when he's watching regular dog videos, chasing each other, you just see him doing this and watching the whole thing left to right.
This is really good, Ed. I really
cool.
appreciate this. So here's what's going on most likely. Now, I'd be curious. So when you're walking this same dog that you're speaking